from the WATE.com Digital Center, answering your legal questions. This is Ask Isaacs. Now, here's Lori Tucker and attorney Greg Isaacs.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Lori here with Greg Isaacs. Thank you for coming in. We've been talking about this case for a couple of weeks now. The Kyle Rittenhouse case. His fate right now is in the hands of the jury as we speak. They're deliberating right now, continuing to decide whether he killed two men and shot another as an out-of-control vigilante, or was this a case of self-defense, Greg? So let's go over the case right now and some of the oddities that have happened just in the last day.
Wow, Lori, this strange case, weird case, doesn't get more weird. You know, not only is it kind of a microcosm of the political divide in this country, where you have a protest based on a police shooting, then you have a militia asking people to come in for various reasons. 17-year-old Rittenhouse responds to a Facebook post by the Kenosha Guard and shows up with an AR-15, a medical kit, and there the road divides. Prosecution say he was a teenage vigilante, an armed soldier that parachuted into already unrest and violent protest. The defense, on the other hand, say this was a good Samaritan that came to help, a 17-year-old that was going to offer help, clean graffiti.
But things got out of control.
Things got out of control.
He is charged with 5 felonies, and again, the case stems from his actions in the wake of protests related to that police shooting of Jacob Blake, and that happened in August of 2020. Rittenhouse is now 18 years old. You're looking at scenes from the crime there, and then also, or the setting there, and then you saw him crying on the stand. And we talked about this last time. You, as a criminal defense attorney, say obviously this is a last resort, right, to put the defendant on the stand.
It's always a great risk when you put your client on the stand, and it's amazing. People have been divided on whether Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony, where he broke down, was genuine and will have an emotional impact on the jury.
Some are crying crocodile tears.
And a lot are crying crocodile tears. I have a divided house on whether it was genuine or not. But you know, when you look at the juxtaposing theories, vigilante thrust himself into the violence, or a good Samaritan 17-year-old that was there to help. Really, the self-defense issue, there are a number of things that came out in the trial that I think are significant. One, when Kyle Rittenhouse fired the shots that killed 2 individuals, wounded another, he was being chased by the mob. So we know one thing for certain is that Rittenhouse was being chased. The other significant factor, and the defense hammered this home in closing, was that one of the individuals had a firearm. Now, he was shot, didn't die.
He's the one who survived.
But then again, that opens up the door to the use of deadly force in self-defense, because Wisconsin, like Tennessee and most states, you are allowed to use the degree of force, meet the degree of force that's being propelled against you in exercising your right to self-defense. So if someone is exercising deadly force, you have the right to use deadly force. He was being chased, there was a gun, and now after 8 days, 32 witnesses, 12 videos, it's in the hands of the jury.
A lot of information for them to go over. Are you expecting a decision today, or do you think this could go on?
Well, they debated from 10 till 7 last night. But let's talk about the backdrop of the oddities. A lot of strangeness in this case. The judge, he makes Judge Judy look like a member of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Oh my goodness! You're talking about the lottery, or you know, the bingo, if you will. We have video of this happening.
Let's play that.
Let's show. And actually, Kyle Rittenhouse himself got to draw numbers of the jurors. Let's talk about why this happened, because there were 18. He has to whittle it down.
Right, and you always have, in most cases, in more alternate jurors in a bigger case, you have people that sit and they don't know they're an alternate until the very end, and it's drawn. And this is it's kind of like sacrament or at church. The judge typically draws the name, because you as the juror, you don't know that you're going to be picked or not picked as an alternate. But you, as the defense lawyer or prosecutor, you have jurors that you like, that you've seen throughout the trial, smiling, frowning, looking away, or whatever. And so this is a big moment. I have never experienced or heard of anyone allowing the defendant to choose the alternative jurors or draw them out of the bingo box.
It was a really strange moment to watch, and then you and I have both seen on Twitter the video, and I apologize we don't have that for you right here, but the video of the explanation from the judge on why he did this, and it's not the first time he has done this.
Weird gets weirder, bizarre gets more bizarre. He said many, many years ago he had a trial involving and these are his words, he felt necessary to describe the defendant as black, and that there was one black juror, and the clerk pulled out a name randomly, and it happened to be that juror of color. And he said then it became his policy or practice, maybe because of that, to do it sometimes, but most judges.
Very vague.
But then he goes very vague, and he goes, most judges don't do it. In fact, there may be no one in the country that does it this way. Another thing, I have been personally chided. I've seen spectators chided for having their phone go off. I've seen police officers get in trouble. Never have I seen a judge's phone go off in a trial. This judge's phone went off repeatedly and just happened to have the theme for the Trump rallies, Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA. And every time it happened, the judge's face would light up with a big smile. And all he had to do was turn off the phone, but not this judge in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Well, and he said after closing arguments yesterday, he gave the jury a stern instruction, quote, pay no heed to the opinions of anyone, even the President of the United States or the President before him. Why would he say that?
You know what? This is an appellate lawyer's dream, because to inject politics in this already politically torn case, and that's what the defense has said. They argued in closing, this is a political move by the district attorney, and they had to blame the violence and riots on somebody, and they chose 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't know when you have two people dead that it's really a political decision to prosecute somebody, but I have never, kind of like drawing the name of the alternate juror out of the bingo
You've never seen
box.
anything
Never
like
seen
that.
it. I've never seen someone refer to past presidents and the president before, because when you look at that, you have two different politically charged ideologies.
One might argue you're being told to go
allow
back and
politics.
Yeah.
You might, and you know what? Sports, we all enjoy sports. Officials and umpires, we typically don't know their name because we're not supposed to know their name. They're neutral.
They don't want you to know their name.
And they call balls and strikes. This judge, when you see a judge rising to the level of celebrity status in a high-profile trial, that typically means something is going terribly wrong. In this case, if there is an adverse verdict, that judge is going to be front and central to any appeal.
Really quickly, before I let you go, we have one more piece of video I want to show you, and this is of the prosecuting attorney holding that AR-15, and he's getting a lot of pushback on that because he actually put his finger on the trigger, as you see there. So a lot of people are saying, hey, that's a startling demonstration. That violates basic gun rights, gun safety rules, not gun rights, but gun safety rules. Had his finger on the trigger. Would that help or hurt in this case? Or make any difference at all?
I hate to deflate the media that always is looking for something, and they've had a lot to work with, but in most cases, I've picked up guns, prosecutors have picked up guns, witnesses have picked up guns, so that is not that atypical. I would hope that someone would not point a gun in a packed courtroom and put their finger on the trigger. That's common sense, but not all too uncommon.
Can I put you on the spot? How do you think this is going to turn out? What is the outcome going to be?
Wow, you just did.
I just did.
You just did. Defense verdict.
Defense verdict.
Yeah, not guilty.
All right.
Lori
Let's
Tucker,
see.
what's good for the
I'm
goose?
a journalist.
Good for the...
I can't give my opinion.
I've just been had. Who did?
Hey, thanks for being with us, everybody. You want to talk more about this at 5:30?
Love to.
Let's do it. All right. We'll see you then. Thanks for being with us.